Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, and Rovi, and today we're going to be talking about AI and its intersection with blockchain.
It's the obvious one, right?
Yeah.
Well, not so obvious yet. Right now, everyone's just like in AI appreciation mode for good reason.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to like boom like this. It definitely feels like something has been discovered. The zeitgeist is now aware. Like the eye of Sauron is fixed on some new piece of technology, right? You see this all the time in crypto. It's like sectors emerge. Whoa, NFTs are badass. Everyone on Twitter's talking about them. Whoa, DeFi is cool.
Yeah,
everybody's
so
talking about DeFi.
Our speculation is AI tools are going to be merging with blockchain, and all of a sudden there's going to be like a new sector of mania.
It has to, right? Just on our understanding of how humans, do things.
Yeah.
Like everyone on the planet who's like involved in tech,
Yeah.
Business, whatever, they're paying attention to AI and they're learning how to leverage the tools that exist, right?
Yeah.
So one of our good friends, Maddie, he put out like a mega thread, which he typically does to like completely like dominate the internet's like awareness. Yeah. But this one was focused on AI, laying out all the different tools you could use, right, to enhance your everything, your personal life, your business operations, just your, I don't know.
Yeah. So check out how meta this is. So we're gonna be talking about Maddie's tweet along with other stuff that we found.
Yeah.
And he's live right now on his YouTube channel. Check it out, DCL Blogger.
Talking about AI.
Talking about AI and talking about his tweet. Like look at that.
Yeah, it's some Twitter thread inception moment right here. We're definitely going deep into this AI rabbit hole, which is my point. And he's not the only one doing it. Right now, Twitter is saturated with this whole AI stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody was expecting it to be this impressive. At least not this quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I think a bunch of tools have been released, and a lot of companies, little startups, projects are leveraging those tools and creating a good user interface and a good experience, a good use case. Like Jasper AI, all kinds of like good applications of AI.
They're building good products. And right now, this is like a Web 2 phenomenon, right?
Yeah,
there is no cryptonomics injected into this whole tech sector yet, but there are some that have been, in development over the last several years. Because there's savvy developers that were aware at some point AI was going to take over everything. So let's preemptively build blockchain ecosystems around this idea, right? And let's do research.
Yeah.
Let's build partnerships. Let's set up the foundations for this future sector. So that's what we're doing now, right? We're speculating. As everybody is kind of like appreciating AI, that means there's going to be people who are going to
leverage it in the blockchain space.
Yeah, speculate or like envision new applications for how blockchain and AI can kind of commingle, right?
Right. So all the links that we're going to be talking about will be in the description below. But we're looking at Morales.io, dude. Academy.Morales.
Yeah, good old what the hell is his name? God damn it, Ivan. Ivan Tech.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different projects that we're going to talk about today, kind of lightly. One of them being Singularity Net. Mm-hmm. There's a Deepbrain chain. I think this is the one that I heard of before. And then of course Fetch.ai.
Fetch has been getting, and shout out Mawa Maverick, who's made some. We've interviewed him. He's made some videos about MetaZone stuff.
Yeah, another YouTuber.
Great content creator. Definitely follow him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one who exposed us to Cosmos and Fetch.ai. He's been like hyping up all this whole ecosystem emerging.
Yeah.
Of course, we see these things like, man, this sounds like something we should be looking into, but there's just so much we're busy with and focused on. But now we're finally, I guess, being pushed. Being pushed to like look into Fetch and stuff.
Well, not only that, because we're thinking of ways of leveraging AI in our own tools and products, right? So,
yeah, that's what I mean. I think everybody is at this point.
It's so useful. It's not like a fad or a trend that we're just gonna like disappear. This is like a foundational piece to like constructing products.
Yeah, this is one of the most interesting, I think, fundamental like realizations you can make about how useful this thing is already becoming in our day-to-day lives. In a decentralized ecosystem, which is the ethos, right? To Web3, we want to build platforms or products that are decentralized, meaning you need incentivization and contribution from a community to like, build and sustain these types of things. It feels like AI is like the freaking golden goose solution to all this. Because, we've been observing like DAOs attempt to try and, operate over the last several years.
Yeah.
it's fucking not easy to get
Yeah.
humans to agree on anything, dude.
No, and it gets vicious too. Like
Yeah.
it gets emotional.
And political
Yeah.
and like divisive.
Yeah,
And before you know it,
It's
like,
not constructive.
why? Is it because of
don't
our
know.
human brains?
I think so.
It has to be.
There's a component to our brains where a lot of times we feel like we need to be right, and we'll say things that
ego.
Ego. There you go.
That's the problem. So I think obviously like some form of like
Objective process like thinking,
yeah.
and I think that's what AI would bring.
Well, yeah, because the whole idea of decentralizing or leveraging a DAO in order for like some ecosystem or product to, as opposed to a centralized organization controlling these things, it's just to eliminate the possibility of corruption, right? Like let's look at FTX.
Right.
That's the perfect example of what you want to avoid, right? Is relying on like a handful of people, or even sometimes condensed to a single person.
Yeah.
Making all the decisions of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And all the customers are at risk because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the opposite end of that spectrum is removing the human component to that operation, right? How do you do that? So the only way we can think of doing that is distributing these decision-making processes to like a collective group of people.
Yeah.
But that's even harder, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely like more trustworthy, right? But
it's more difficult to like actually achieve anything once you're required everybody to like make a statement, a comment on something, make a vote.
Yeah.
Like it's just too much friction.
Yeah. Do you think at some point we could leverage AI to be like the final word on things and the executor of decision making?
It depends on like what kind of AI you're talking about. Because if you're talking about AI with like training data, it won't understand like the consequences of a decision. It'll only tell you like this is the best decision to make based on its training data. But other than that, like
and there's something interesting which I guess we don't understand yet is why is the training data being leveraged by today's AI
it's just
products?
easier.
It's like old data, right?
It's old data, and it's easier to create AI based off of data that exists today because general AI is much more complex. It has to have like some sort of degree of awareness and like real time access to information, and that's just not the case.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So this might be the gap where, as far as like utilizing incentive mechanisms that exist in Web3 and blockchain and cryptocurrency and all that stuff, tokenization of effort, I guess, or rewarding contributions of effort. Sounds like a realm in dire need of human contribution, right? So this is an obvious potential avenue to where the blockchain space can start integrating more AI.
Yeah, look at this section here. Is why does AI need blockchain?
Yeah, why?
It says AI practitioners require a resilient framework for storing huge data sets. The potential for data manipulation raises the issue of trust between parties. So now imagine if we have humans creating a bunch of data sets, right, training data, and then we have humans manipulating that training data to skew one way or another. All of a sudden, the AI becomes racist, or AI becomes more left or right, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just because you manipulated the data. So with blockchain now, the data that's submitted is objectively understood and accepted by the network.
You could see whether or not there's been some funny business, basically, and that would discredit the whole the output. If a DAO were to leverage like an AI tool that was to be this governing AI bot, you wouldn't rely on one that has been obviously manipulated at the data level. That's foundational, right? But you can't ever trust imagine if Facebook was like the governing agent of society.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like what they were trying to do at one point, but it backfired on them, because it's easily corruptible and manipulatable. Mm-hmm. Is that even a word? Manipulated. Yeah. There you go. Fuck, dude. So that's a huge use case right there.
Yeah, so this makes it easy to identify who has used data while enabling multiple parties to use sensitive data without understanding the nature of it.
Yeah.
So this is a great use case, great application of blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other use cases like Fetch Network. So we have their website pulled up here. So I think we're going to be doing a deeper dive on Fetch.ai.
Well, we want to look into all these, I guess, projects that have been around.
Yeah.
Since before AI was like the talk of the town, right? This is all. It's always important to pay attention to those guys because they saw something before everybody else.
Yeah.
So obviously they're way ahead, and they probably have a lot of real tangible value.
Yeah. I mean, look at their investors: Coinbase, Binance, Gemini.
Yeah, exactly.
Outlier Ventures.
So there's an article here that we stumbled upon, like just projecting the growth of the AI blockchain space.
Yeah, I think it's right here. So blockchain AI market forecast to reach 211 billion.
Which right now in 2021 is valued at 5 billion. So that's a significant rate of growth.
What is that? 20x? No, sorry.
400x? I mean 40x?
400x.
40x, right? Roughly. Come on, dude. You're the freaking math guy.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's call it a 40x.
Yeah.
Not bad, dude. You always want to pay attention to growing sectors like that have ridiculous forecasts.
Yeah.
I mean, this ain't anywhere near the realm of the metaverse forecast we've been seeing.
Yeah.
The multi-trillion, 60 trillion, what the fuck people are saying?
60 trillion, yeah.
Some of those predictions get kind of wild, but nonetheless, these are the things you want to be paying attention to, right?
Yeah, but just to touch on that, it's interesting that so many have said multiple trillions.
Yeah.
Like that's the interesting
and
part.
They're not saying that yet. This is like one of the only articles I could find.
Yeah.
To give me some sort of like a synopsis on like the potential of AI and blockchain. I can
see AI being trillions of dollars for
Fuck
sure.
Yes.
Easy.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, this is specifically the niche of AI and blockchain. AI in general, AI as a sector of its own, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Multi-trillion dollar value proposition to society. So,
and what makes it interesting is that now combining blockchain with AI, now we have a vehicle to speculate on.
That's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's when you get people actually interested in this stuff, not just like tech nerds.
Yeah.
Just like cryptography and all these things that enabled cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. And nobody was interested in cryptography until
until you figured out a way to monetize it and to become speculative vehicles, right?
Right.
Now, SEC, don't take that to heart.
Yeah.
Don't use that as like
Gary's gonna email us, dude.
Yeah, he's like, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
They're gonna like quote us once they like stop the whole show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's true. That's how you get the world to appreciate and pay attention and, most importantly, participate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because all these things require humanity to be a part of in order to flourish.
You said it perfectly, because participation is the single most thing that gives us all the value that we've created so far.
Yeah.
Like if you just look at this narrow group called Decentraland, as soon as it was opened up for participation to make wearables, all of a sudden we have like a bunch of wearables, a lot of cool, attractive wearables, right?
Yeah, and people out there like blood, sweat, and tears, like trying to market the fuck out of their own brands and stuff. They wouldn't even give time of day if they didn't have a vehicle.
Right.
A vehicle of interest, of potential, right? That's the whole point. Create potential here, potential value layers outside of, the physical world.
Yeah, opening it up to the people, we're going to see a bunch of cool shit.
Indeed. So speaking of cool shit, there was an NFT project just to kind of like hone in on the idea that, AI, it's still in its infancy stages as far as like its application with blockchain and stuff. And just in general, it's still basically in its infancy stages, but it's here, right? Clearly, everyone's talking about it. It's here. So here's an NFT project that's figured out a way to leverage it in order to create something called intelligent NFTs.
Yeah,
INFTs, dude. And that's very brandable,
Yeah. Key takeaways: Alethea AI has created the world's first intelligent NFTs. The project uses AI to bring NFT avatars to life. Owners can train their NFTs to earn rewards and participate in Alethea's pioneering train-to-earn economy.
Another one of these something X to earn.
Something to earn.
But this is useful though, because if all of AI is kind of like propped up by something called machine learning, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the technical ins and outs of all that, but basically, from what I understand, the more you expose these machines to, as far as like information, the smarter they get over time.
Yes.
Right?
That's exactly what Elon is doing with robo taxis.
Yeah. So by letting these things go out into the world and explore, they're gathering data, right?
Yep.
And then now they can leverage all this new acquired data to make better decisions.
Yeah.
So this is good.
Yeah, this train to earn sort of concept is so huge, because now you can train to earn a particular blockchain community. all of a sudden your community contributes to the data, and all of a sudden now you have an AI that's like a genius on the whole network, on the platform.
Yeah, and it creates like specifications, right? Because we're seeing this with the blockchain. Like at first, blockchains were generalized.
Yeah,
Ethereum, Cardano, name any Web3 blockchain. The intention of them was to be like a general, I guess, like a validator layer. That's it for just general transactions. But as the ecosystems continue to advance, developers wanted very niche specific, products, right? So now blockchains are starting to become more, specified. You could spin up a blockchain that's only meant for gaming or only meant to process insurance claims and stuff like that, but all be settled on the layer one side.
That's right. That's right.
So AI, I think, will probably follow that same trajectory, right? You're going to need specific AI, trained AIs to only evaluate certain, specific tasks.
I mean, we could use this right now. Like MetaZone has enough data for us to like feed AI to help anybody determine what is a best design for a game for the metaverse.
Which is so badass to think about.
Yeah, it's like I have an idea. It's like I want to create an RPG for the metaverse. It's like MetaZone. What game could I create that would fit the ethos, that would fit the
limitations,
the limitation, the design elements, the everything that's needed to make a successful metaverse.
Analyze like what the market is kind of like demanding through social media and all these different things, right? Because that's the best way to know what the people want.
Yeah, and it'll basically spit out exactly what you would need to create in order to make this metaverse game successful. Has to be aligning the landowners and the creators and basically everything, and design a game that would fit what exists with the limitations of the metaverse.
So you just replace like 4 or 5 like high executive positions in a lot of like game companies with one single AI tool.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like a market analyst, a strategy guy,
economist,
a game developer, designer, like all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Goes into a single tool. So this is the power of that. Like it's going to change everything like they've been saying. So,
yeah.
So that's why it's important to pay attention to. You guys know us, dude. This is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Trying to identify what's on the horizon, what's new. Of course, it's not happening tomorrow, right? The idea is to keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Anytime you see like, oh, this project just got, I don't know, Series A funding for some AI, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. You should probably pay attention to that project to see what the hell it is they're building, and see the potential of that, and see if there's any like, future prospects of a token economy, which most projects do in the Web3 space.
Yeah, check this out. This company recently received an investment from Binance Smart Chain as part of the chain's $1 billion Metaverse Growth Fund.
There you go.
So this $1 billion Metaverse Growth Fund is a recent phenomenon, right? Mm-hmm. So also partnered with GameFi and Guild Games, okay?
Yeah, so this is exactly what I was just talking about. This is one to pay attention to. And us as Metaverse game developers, I could see us leveraging this one day.
Yeah.
We do have, deployable NFTs in the metaverse at the moment. Making them intelligent would be a huge value add to our whole ecosystem, right?
Hell yeah.
We're not going to be the only ones who think that. So there's just that alone means there's some promise there, right?
Yeah, this is exciting, man. This is another tool that I want to leverage in all kinds of ways. I mean, we're already leveraging elements of these types of tools, but putting it into our own project, I think that's where it's really exciting.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Polygon, right? We were building, we're like, damn, dude, we really can't do shit on Ethereum, man. It sucks. It's like it really did put our platform at a halt, and not just us, everybody. Whenever the congestion got so rampant, it was like hundreds of dollars to execute any transaction. So we're like desperately looking for a layer 2 solution, and then we're using Polygon, and because of that, or at the time it was called Matic. Because of that, we understand, it's like, dude, this is one to invest in.
Yeah.
If we have to use it, that means everybody kind of does.
Yeah.
And it became true.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's our unique perspective for actually building in the ecosystem and discovering these problems so early on before most people. I mean, that's why you watch this YouTube channel.
It's true. It's one of the good side value adds we didn't really anticipate.
Yeah. For sure.
By building stuff, it's like you get to, out of pure necessity, you get to find out like what exists and who's actually producing real value, right? Because in these bull markets, these bull cycles, 95% plus are not that.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just riding on the hype wave.
Yeah.
Selling a very pre-cooked up narrative that's just designed to get people to speculate. You know, they're not actually building any real tech.
Yeah, that's 95% of crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the time where tech is being built. So we're going to keep looking into this. So what do we got? We got layer 2 stuff on Ethereum, ZK to pay attention to.
Yeah.
AI, blockchain, another thing to pay attention to.
What about anything DeFi? Anything new stuff there?
I'm sure there is. Fucking DeFi. I think like fixed yield. I don't know, dude. After all this like regulatory craziness, it's going to be tough to sell DeFi these days to institutions. But nonetheless, we got to pay attention to it. And then we got, of course, more layer 0 stuff. You know, Cosmos, Polkadot. Take a look at those.
And the metaverse will pop off eventually.
The metaverse too.
Yeah.
We're desperately looking for more metaverse infrastructure projects to, I guess, increase the hopium for that space. But yeah, man, we got a lot to look into this bear market. So stay with us, lads.
Finally, it's exciting again.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting past the FTX stuff.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Let us know what you think about AI and blockchain. Comment section in our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at MetaZone.io, and at Roby AI, and we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.